It sucks. All right. It sucks losing to the Timberwolves again in what should have been a return to form for the Phoenix Suns as they once again try to build momentum here in the West. A lot of concerning trouble that are continuing from last game the Suns had against the LA Clippers, which resulted in a win. That one went way better. But in that game, the Suns had this sloppiness factor in the second half, and it ultimately almost costed them the game. Really didn't want to see that again, but unfortunately, that is the story for tonight and is the reason why the Suns ended up losing this game. Suns basically scored 59 points in the half against Minnesota, which was a 4-point lead going into halftime. Honestly, great. Again, I love that the Suns are building on this, and for everything that went wrong tonight, we could all at least appreciate that half put together by the Suns. As once again, they came out looking dominant. They played great defense against the Timberwolves, causing many crucial turnovers. I say all of this with kind of a bittersweet afflection on it because that second half, a lot of these words came back to bite the Suns. But that's where the compliments for the Phoenix Suns stop. As all the hustle, all the defense, and all the dominance that the Suns came out looking to start this game off well, all of a sudden then faded going into that second half. Suns this season have had notoriously bad third, and tonight is no different as that third is the game changer for tonight. Minnesota outscored the Phoenix Suns 26-18 in that third, and it went as terribly as you could have imagined by that box score numbers. The main reasons I would contribute it to is the Suns started to miscommunicate a lot with each other during that third. Just not that many Suns players understanding each other where to be on offense, not going to meet the ball when they're passing it, and or just general standing still, as that third quarter saw a lot of ISO ball, a lot of players just standing still, and that doesn't really mix well when the Timberwolves have some of the lengthiest guys in the NBA. And as we all know from that playoff series, gave Book some troubles. And basically, when Book is now running your offense tonight, he had 8 assists out tonight and has basically been our point guard for the last couple of games. He's the offensive hub and has been doing a pretty fine job getting his teammates all involved. But tonight, he couldn't really do the same as that stagnant offense and the general long arms of the Timberwolves ended up causing Book a team leading 9 turnovers. And that loops into why the Suns had a pretty disgusting second half as the turnovers started to amp up. That third quarter alone, the Suns had 7 turnovers. Compared before that, the first half, the Suns only had 6 turnovers. So 7 turnovers alone in the third quarter is a big reason why the Minnesota Timberwolves were able to turn this game around. And it wasn't just the Suns miscommunicating with each other on offense and defense as they were leaving guys open. Credit to the Timberwolves. They played some amazing defense the second half there. As the game has ended, they have caused the Suns 16 turnovers. The Suns did return fire and also caused 16 turnovers for the Timberwolves, but the Timberwolves massively profited off of the Suns' turnovers in fast breaks as they scored 20 of their points from those 16 Suns turnovers. So turnovers and that defense miscommunication and also just not having answers for certain Timberwolves players. I hate to say it, but Julius Randle on the Timberwolves, whatever kind of season he's been having, is not mine to comment on. But for some reason, he just has to come into Phoenix and he has to have one of his best games. But it definitely was a huge problem that the Suns could not allow to continue. Julius Randle ended up leaving the night with 28 points. And this causes a problem for the Suns as he was able to basically drive down into the paint, bullying his way, bully ball style, and getting any kind of layup and drive he wanted. And in basketball terms, once one guy becomes the problem, then you naturally have to double team him, which leaves the guy open. And now you got Julius Randle, who is not a bad passer by any means. He had 6 assists tonight, not a single turnover. And that ended up leading Julius Randle to finding his teammates in which they were able to profit. And that creates more struggles and problems for the Phoenix Suns as the Suns do not scramble to those open shooters now. and it allows the Timberwolves to get an open three. As sorry if I mispronounced this name, I'm just not familiar with these Timberwolves players. Nickel Alexander Walker had himself a pretty major game, going 5 of 10 from three from the arc, and is mainly one of the guys that profited off of Julius Randle's kick and drives, always finding the corner and being able to swish the three. So a lot of that main offense for the Timberwolves, Suns not being able to find a proper answer for Julius Randle and constantly turning over the ball, and also just not communicating on defense. And there you go. You let the Wolves go and score 66 on you in the second half. Meanwhile, the Suns score 54 points in the second half. So that is the main reason why your Phoenix Suns ended up losing tonight's game against the Timberwolves, when really this team needs to start building momentum to just stay alive for the rapidly approaching date of the playoffs. This team, it's had its fair share of criticism on its individual players, but now it's time to start acting a little more serious and start gaining momentum that we desperately need to head into the playoffs. So that leaves the Suns with a problem of where are they going to go next? Do we add another player to this Phoenix Suns roster in a probable trade, or do we continue rolling with this roster and the way it is? It's questionable, but this team does not look like it is able to get anything ready together. They're still miscommunicating, and there's still a lot of problems that plague the Phoenix Suns.